Imagine this: you're standing in the middle of the blazing Nevada desert, surrounded by endless sand and scorching sun. You look down at the ground beneath your feet, a dry and lifeless piece of land that looks almost worthless. Now here's the twist: this land could be worth millions, not because of what's on it, but because of something invisible, the right to use water. Welcome to the bizarre world of water rights in Las Vegas in Nevada, where owning water is sometimes more important than owning land itself. In most parts of the world, when you buy land, you automatically assume that water comes with it. But in Nevada, the law says otherwise. Here, water is legally separated from the land. That means you could own acres of land in Las Vegas but not a single drop of water to use on it. And in a city built in the middle of a desert, where fountains dance at the Bellagio, pools glitter on every rooftop, and golf courses sprawl across the sand, water isn't just precious. It's power. So how did this strange system come to be? Why does Nevada treat water as a completely separate asset from land? And how has this law shaped the fate of Las Vegas? Stick around, because the story of water rights in Las Vegas is one of power, survival, and the ultimate American paradox: building an empire of lights in a place that should have none. To understand the strange concept of water rights in Las Vegas, we first need to go back to the beginning. Picture Nevada in the late 1800s, vast stretches of desert, cattle ranchers trying to survive, and miners digging for silver under the relentless sun. Back then, land itself wasn't the most valuable thing, water was. Without water, no crops, no cattle, no towns could survive. That's why Nevada adopted a unique system: the water doesn't belong to the land. Instead, it belongs to whoever has the legal right to use it, a right that can be bought, sold, and even lost. In simple terms, owning land in Nevada without water rights is like owning a Ferrari without the keys. It looks impressive, but you can't really use it. Fast forward to the 20th century, when Las Vegas began transforming from a dusty desert stop into the glittering casino capital of the world. The growth of Vegas was fueled not just by money and mobsters, but by water. The Hoover Dam, completed in the 1930s, provided the city with the Colorado River's life-giving flow. But here's the catch: even with the dam, water was never limitless. Every casino, every hotel, every neon-lit dream needed water, and that meant water rights became the ultimate prize. In fact, there are neighborhoods in Las Vegas today where people own land but can't legally dig a well or tap into water sources, because the rights belong to someone else. Imagine buying a house in the desert and realizing you can't even water your own garden without paying another company or individual who owns the water rights. It sounds absurd, but this is the legal reality that shaped how Las Vegas grew, a city where neon lights never sleep, built on contracts that decide who owns every single drop. And because Nevada law allows water rights to be separated, traded, and hoarded, water has become like a second real estate market, sometimes even more profitable than the land itself. This sets the stage for our story, a law born from desert survival, now dictating the fate of one of America's most extravagant cities. The story of water rights in Nevada begins with one simple truth: the desert doesn't forgive. In the 1800s, settlers and ranchers faced a brutal reality: without water, even the richest land was worthless. That's why Nevada adopted the doctrine of prior appropriation. In plain English, first come, first served. If you were the first to divert water from a river, creek, or spring, you got the right to use it. And crucially, you could keep that right even if you sold the land later. This separation of land and water became the foundation of Nevada's water law. Fast forward to the early 20th century, and things got even stranger. When Las Vegas began to rise, the city didn't just need land to build casinos, it needed water rights to keep them alive. The Hoover Dam, finished in 1936, was a miracle of engineering. It gave Vegas access to the mighty Colorado River. But that water still had to be allocated, and states like California, Arizona, and Nevada all fought for their slice. Here's where the paradox begins: Nevada, the driest state in the U.S., actually got one of the smallest water allocations. Just 4% of the Colorado River's flow. That tiny slice had to serve an exploding city. So every gallon became precious, and the law of water rights turned into a battlefield. Developers in Las Vegas didn't just buy land, they had to hunt for water rights, sometimes miles away, to legally supply their projects. Stories emerged of investors buying desert land, not because they wanted to build on it, but because it came with ancient water rights attached. In some cases, families who had ranches for generations suddenly became millionaires by selling their water rights to developers in Las Vegas. And this led to bizarre scenarios, acres of land in the desert sitting empty, while their water rights were transferred to power fountains on the Las Vegas Strip. It's the ultimate irony, land left barren so that neon dreams could flourish. To this day, the doctrine of prior appropriation still rules Nevada. Water rights can be traded like stocks, divorced from the soil beneath your feet. And in a place like Las Vegas, where survival depends on controlling the flow, that law shaped not just real estate but the entire identity of the city. Today, the strange law of water rights is more relevant than ever, because Las Vegas is running out of water. Lake Mead, the reservoir created by the Hoover Dam, has been shrinking for decades. Its famous bathtub ring of white minerals shows just how much water has disappeared. In this crisis, the separation of land and water becomes even stranger. You could own a giant estate in Nevada but be unable to turn on a single faucet, because the rights belong to someone else. Developers who want to build new casinos or neighborhoods can't just buy land. They must also secure water rights, sometimes purchasing them from farmers hundreds of miles away. This has led to bizarre deals. In some cases, developers have bought entire ranches just to strip away their water rights, leaving the land itself abandoned. Meanwhile, everyday residents feel the impact. Some neighborhoods in Nevada have to pay extra fees to private companies who own the water rights beneath their land. It's a system that sounds almost feudal, lords of water deciding who gets to drink, irrigate, or even fill a swimming pool. And yet, in Las Vegas itself, water seems everywhere: massive fountains, luxury pools, golf courses carved into the desert. How is that possible? The answer is that casinos and resorts have the money and the political power to secure water rights that ordinary people can't afford. Ironically, Las Vegas has also become one of the most water-efficient cities in the U.S. Laws force homeowners to rip out grass lawns, replacing them with desert landscaping. Casinos recycle nearly every drop of water used indoors. Still, the battle over water rights continues, with lawsuits and negotiations stretching across decades. And here's the kicker: in some parts of Nevada, buying a property without water rights is like buying a ghost town lot, it's almost useless. Real estate agents now have to warn buyers, always check if the property comes with water rights. Otherwise, you may own land but never be able to live on it. This law, born from survival in the desert, now dictates the future of one of America's most extravagant cities. On the surface, the idea of separating water from land sounds like a nightmare, confusing, inconvenient, even unfair. But in reality, it's this very system that has given Las Vegas its strange identity and cultural fascination. Think about it: the entire image of Vegas, the fountains of Bellagio, the Mirage volcano, the endless pools, exists only because of water rights. The city became a global symbol of excess, of building the impossible, because it could control and trade the most precious resource in the desert. And paradoxically, the very absurdity of the system makes Las Vegas feel even more like a miracle. Visitors arrive knowing they're in the driest state in America, yet they see water dancing, flowing, and shimmering everywhere. It's a spectacle built on law, not just engineering. For locals, water rights have also shaped culture in quieter ways. Xeriscaping, using desert plants instead of lawns, has become part of the city's identity. Residents trade stories about buying properties with or without water rights, as if talking about houses that come with gold hidden inside. Meanwhile, on the global stage, water rights in Las Vegas spark debates about the future of cities in a warming world. How long can a city of lights and fountains survive if its legal system treats water as a commodity to be bought and sold? And yet, that tension is exactly what fascinates outsiders. To many, Las Vegas embodies the ultimate American dream, bending nature to human will, no matter how absurd the cost. It's why documentaries, journalists, and tourists all highlight this aspect, the city where water is power, and power is spectacle. So while the law may sound technical or boring, its impact has been cultural, symbolic, and strangely entertaining. Water rights turned a patch of desert into the most famous oasis of excess on Earth. And that is why the story of Las Vegas's water rights isn't just about law. It's about identity, myth, and the spectacle of America itself. So what does this all mean? In Las Vegas, owning land isn't enough, you need water rights, or your property might as well be dust. This bizarre law, born in the deserts of the 1800s, still controls the fate of one of the most extravagant cities in the world. And it leaves us with a haunting question: can a city built on lights, fountains, and spectacle survive if its very lifeblood, water, is treated like a tradable commodity? Maybe that's what makes Las Vegas so fascinating. It's not just the casinos or the shows. It's the fact that the entire city exists because of a legal loophole that turned water into power. So next time you watch the fountains dance at the Bellagio, remember, behind every drop of water is a story of law, survival, and the wild imagination of America. What do you think? Should water really be treated like land, bought and sold like property? Or should it belong to everyone, no matter where they live? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe for more strange and unbelievable tales from only in America.